Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's such a cool building. I haven't seen it before. It's really quite remarkable. We are going to have a conversation,
yes,
as
we are,
as advertised.
Not a game of chess.
Maybe we'll spend a little bit of time before we get to Ukraine. Yeah. To say how good Garry was as a chess player, it's just really hard. I can only tell you that they have one of the world's great chess tournaments going on here, and the young players who are, some of them in their early 20s and late 20s, just worship Garry, now the top-ranked players. I'll just tell you one war story before starting. So I think Garry played this series of matches against computers. We may come back to computers later. I think many books, historians regard the match in 1997 against Deep Blue as one of the most important events of the 20th century. That he's sort of.
That's why nobody remembers that I won the first one, 96.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was sort of. We have this legend of Paul Bunyan, who used to chop down trees, and somebody came in with a gas-powered machine and could chop down trees faster. And if the machine could win against Garry, and I'll just throw in for you, it was probably not as good as him at the time, but he didn't prepare enough. But if the machine could win against Garry, it could win against anyone. Anyway, they had a press conference after each game and did a bit of analysis, the computers, people running the computers, and Garry. I wasn't there, but a friend called me up, and he goes, "Oh my God, the number of calculations per minute, the depth of the calculations, I'm quitting chess." And I said, "Yeah, the computers have gotten really good." He said, "I didn't mean the computers, I meant Garry." So anyway, so a truly remarkable player. You just played a match against some of the children here.
More of entertainment than chess. So
well, they were entertained.
Yeah, it's for kids. Yeah, so it's.
But
I always try to play events with kids because I remember when I was a kid, just facing legend was something very special. So that's why giving them an opportunity to play a game that offering them a few moments that will stay with them for the rest of their life. That's like my duty of promoting the game.
You promote chess for children a lot, though. I mean, right?
Yeah, I do. Yes. So sometimes at the expense of my own family, because I have to travel a lot.
I have to say, I tried to teach my kids chess, and they were very dutiful and went to a chess club for a little while, but my daughter decided she liked dance better. My son decided he liked basketball.
No, I have 3 kids, so that's 2, the eldest kids, so they know how to play, but never shown any interest. So the little one, she's 8-year-old, she has a great interest, so she still prefers other things, but chess, she has some form of passion, but again, yes, if we learn from, the loss of genetics, so I have to watch for my grandchildren.
Well, good luck with that. I just want to throw out a couple questions about, when you started playing and, what your life was like. Now, I actually am not sure how it worked, but you were already pulled out of school at an early age?
Pulled out of school?
I have no idea. I'm asking you. No.
I graduated school with a gold medal, so okay.
All right.
Yes,
that was what they told us
probably
in the
mixed
States.
him with Bob Fischer, so he pulled out of school. No,
So how did the Russian system work? I mean, I actually
everybody asks me all the time about the first moment when I learned how to play chess, and unfortunately, there was no Twitter at that time to report. That was a night when Garry looked at the chess set. Where my parents, tried to solve a problem and learn how to play chess somewhere in 1968 or 1969. I don't know, but by age 7, I knew that there was a game that I loved, and. I went to this chess section in the Pioneer Palace. So my father died it's that year, so it's just from leukemia at age 39. But this is the last decision he made. So because again, it could be a choice of just doing some music, as a Jewish family, or chess. So, and he said no. His mind is sort of mathematical, logical. He must do chess, and that was last but probably most important decision he made. And I loved it, and I climbed at the chess stairs very quickly. So by age 10, I was already a very strong player, and by 12, I was the Soviet junior champion under 18, which is the Soviet Union.
That's incredible.
You can imagine that's the strengths of the competition there, and it's age 14, so I already knew that I would be playing chess at the highest level. Though again, being the world champion, it's a dream, but I could realize.
You once said to me, we haven't known each other that long, maybe 4 or 5 years, but you once said to me, I never realized I'd get that good. I just didn't imagine it when I started.
No, it was a form of a passion because I feel very comfortable. So I read a lot of books. As I said, I didn't have any problems at school. So, but where I felt most comfortable was at the chessboard.
I got to tell you, speaking of school, so I represented the United States in the World Under-21 Championship when I was 16 in Stockholm, and Natalie Karpov, who became your great rival, was 18 and representing the Soviet Union, and I read, oh, he's an English major at Leningrad University. That's really good. I actually tried to learn a little Russian, but didn't know much. So I'd go up to him and say, hi, how are you? And I sort of had the impression he didn't speak a word of English. Okay. So I didn't appreciate your different trajectory. He's learned very good English since. But,
speaking about the Soviet system, chess was never part of the education. So it's a popular misconception that chess, belonged to the educational system, but it was rather a sort of propaganda tool. So, okay, I can hardly criticize that because I was one of the beneficiaries, because there was a very broad network, and when the talent was found, so there was you were already in good hands. So you could be promoted from one level to another, just learn from more experienced players. So there was also state support available for talented players because chess was a very important, one of the most important propaganda tools to display the superiority of communist regime over the decadent West. So that's why top chess players, they enjoyed, certain immunity in their daily life, so having better conditions available for them just to perform. And as a world champion already in the late 80s, I tried to convince Soviet authorities to have chess in the schools, but they showed no interest.
I had no idea. I mean, I thought that it was, they had after school and.
No, it was totally separate. So it's while I'm promoting now chess for education, it's not to find another Garry Kasparov, Bobby Fischer, though nobody will object if it happens. But it's more like having chess as a very sophisticated and very inexpensive tool to help kids, especially from underprivileged families, to meet the challenge of modern education. Because it helps them, to improve their cognitive skills, its logic, concentration. They learn about legal framework, about patterns, and it's.
And it beats video games. I mean.
Yes, and again, it's inexpensive. You don't have to build a swimming pool, a tennis court, a football field, which is important in many places. And we have plenty of data accumulated from different quarters, from the best private schools to many public schools that cannot brag, good conditions for kids, and it's the same.
People sometimes ask me what I got from chess, and one thing I say is it sort of trains your nerves. And I think most chess players up to a pretty high level, when they lose a game, they're much more likely to lose the next day. I mean, it's correlated. Or when they make
Magnus
mistake.
Carlsen, the current world champion?
No.
I mean, he just
the weaker players.
The
weaker players.
Magnus almost always wins next day.
Yeah. Yes. No, that's exactly right.
Yes.
That's
why he's a world champion. Yes.
And that's why you were the world champion. Actually, this reminds me of something else. So when I met Garry the first time, I was trying to think of something positive about my career, and I said, I had very good luck on Friday the 13th because my opponents were very superstitious. Chess players are very superstitious. And I was less superstitious, so I would get there and I think it's Friday the 13th, it's your unlucky day. And Garry thought for a second, he said, well, I don't know, I'm thinking I always won on Friday the 13th. And I said, well, that's not fair because you won every day. So
but still, I was like 13, so born April 13, the 13th world champion, so always looking for 13 on the wall.